Welcome back to Koine Corner. Today we're looking at the Great Commission from Matthew chapter 28, verses 16 through 20. But I like to refer to it as the 100% Commission. And if you stick around to the end of the video, you'll find out why I like to call it that. Right now, let's dive in and take a look at verse 16, my translation thereof. It says, "And the 11 disciples went into Galilee to the mountain where Jesus had ordained them for himself." Let's just take a look at two quick points from verse 16. The first being that in this verse, Matthew refers to them as disciples, mathetai, and not as apostoloi, apostles, even though they're about to get a commission that sends them out into the world, and even though they're referred to as apostles prior to this event. That's a little nugget. But let's look at this other thing that I think is more important. In Koine, it says, "Etaxato autois ho Jesus." So ho Jesus, Jesus, is in the nominative case. He's the subject. Etaxato is the verb. It is an aorist middle voice indicative third person singular verb. And the indirect object of that verb is autois, dative case, plural, them. And so Jesus ordained them. But because it's middle voice, it's important to recognize Jesus ordained them for himself. Matthew could have written on the mountain where they had been ordained, or on the mountain where he ordained them. But by using the middle voice, we're being told that the ordination of the 12, now down to 11 after the death of Judas, that ordination was not for their sake, but for Jesus' sake. He ordained them for himself. Let's march on. Verse 17, "And after seeing him, they knelt or prostrated themselves, but some doubted." So everyone assumed the worshipful position, proskuneo, but some of them still harbored doubts. And it's easy to get wishy-washy about that and emotional, but I just want to ask you this question: how many resurrected people have you seen? Let's carry on. We'll go to verse 18. "And going forward, Jesus spoke to them, saying, 'To me has been given all authority in heaven and upon earth.'" Again, my translation. Let's take a look at the word order in Jesus' statement. So here we have in Koine, "Edothe moi passa exousia, en urano kai epites geis." Okay, edothe, it has been given. So it's an aorist passive verb, third person singular. It has been given. To whom? Moi, to me. To me has been given. Has been given what? Passa exousia. Exousia is authority. Passa exousia tells us how much authority. All authority. To me has been given all authority. Where? En urano, in heaven, kai epites geis, and upon the earth. So to me has been given all authority in heaven and upon earth. I remember back to undergraduate theology studies and learning about the cosmology of the Hebrew mind. In the Old Testament cosmology, the universe existed of two spheres, a dipole. There was the realm of heaven and the realm of earth, and they were seen as two ends of the same pole, a dipole. Heaven is his throne and earth is his footstool, right? And so here Jesus says, all authority has been given to me both in heaven and upon the earth. So he stresses the giving, right? Because the verb, "it has been given," is the first word in the phrase. It has been given to me. The second thing he stresses is to whom it's been given. What has been given? All authority. A lot of authority, some authority, a little bit of authority? No. All authority has been given to me in heaven and upon earth. So in this little nugget, in verse 18, Jesus proclaims that universal authority in a universal sphere, all authority everywhere, has been given to him. Spectacular stuff. Let's move on to the next two verses, or really a verse and a half, because I have to tell you, here's one of those occurrences where the people that assigned verse numbers to the New Testament did, in my opinion, a terrible job. they broke a sentence right in the middle. So to get the whole sentence, we need to have verse 19 and the first half of verse 20. And when we look at that, here's what we find. Therefore, while going, begin discipling all the nations, while baptizing them in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, while teaching them to keep or obey everything which I commanded you. My undergraduate exegesis professor used to say, whenever you see a therefore, find out what it's there for. So the word therefore, in this case, the word therefore connects what went previous to what has come subsequent. So the instructions that Jesus gives to them are directly related to what he said previously. To me has been given all authority in heaven and upon the earth. So make sure we don't lose sight of that as we carry on. And he gives a command. He gives only one command in the commission. And the command is to begin discipling. Let's break down some verbs, nouns, and adjectives. So, poreuthentes methetusate panta ta ethna. All right, let's break down that part of the verse. Poreuthentes, present active participle, while going, continual action, while going. Then we get to the imperative, the command. It's an aorist imperative. Methetusate, begin discipling, start making disciples. Why begin? Why start? Because it's an aorist infinitive. It has inception as a part of the action. If it had been a present imperative, it would be continue making disciples. But he's saying we're going to make something new from what wasn't. Those who weren't disciples will become disciples. So there's the commission, there's the command. Begin discipling. While going, begin discipling. Discipling whom? Panta ta ethna, all the nations. Not just the members of your local synagogue, not just your friends and family, not just the synagogues in other towns, but all the nations, encompassing the entire populace of the known world. Spectacular. Let's move on to the next part. Baptizontes autus, while baptizing them. So again, present active participle. Baptizontes autus, while baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. And then here comes verse 20a, the part that they cut off by changing where the verse break is. Didascontes autus, while teaching them, present active participle, while teaching them what? Terrain, it's an active infinitive, to keep or to obey. To keep or to obey what? Panta hosa enetelamen humin. Everything, all which I have commanded you. So, while teaching them to keep or obey all things which I have commanded you. What is the imperative? What is the commission? Begin discipling. That's the Great Commission. Begin discipling. What would it look like while that's happening? He tells us in 3 present tense participles. While going, while baptizing in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, and while teaching. Who are they to do this with? They're to do this with all the nations. Universal audience. And what are they to teach? All the things which I have commanded you, is what Jesus says to the 11 who are being sent out. Now let's move on to verse 20b. And behold, I am with you all the days until the end of the age. More word order here. So let's take a look at some cool stuff in Koine Greek. And behold, ego methumon eimi. Ego methumon eimi. Ego is I, methumon, with you, plural, eimi, I am. I, with you, I am. Now the cool thing is here, in that phrase, is ego is redundant. It's not uncommon in Koine to have I, ego, and eimi, but it is redundant. You could have this same sentence with the same meaning if it just said methumon eimi, or even if it said eimi methumon. But by saying ego eimi meth humon eimi, he's stressing, he's emphasizing his presence. I, with you, I am. Why is that important? Well, remember, all the way back to the beginning of the commission, what do we know about the one who's going to be with them? All authority. To me has been given all authority in heaven and upon earth. It's good to have someone with you who has all authority in all places all the time. Which brings us to the next little nugget. Pasas tas hemeras. Pasas tas hemeras. Pasas all. Tas hemeras, the days of the days. I will be with you. With you, I am all the days. Not some of the days, not a few of the days, not the feast days, not the holy days, not the Sabbath day. All the days, the one with all authority in heaven and on earth is with you. And then we get to the last little nugget. Heos tes suntelias tus ionos. Heos tes suntelias tus to ionos. Until the end or the culmination of the age. All the days, even up until the culmination, the end of the days. He could have said, tes teleas to ionos, until the end of the days, the completion of the purpose of the days, but by using sun teleas, it gives more of a sense of culmination, like I'm going to be with you all of the days until the purpose of all the days reaches its telos, its complete purpose in fulfillment. So when there's no more need for the days, they come to their conclusion, and he will be with you. So why did I say it's 100% commission? Think about it this way. The commissioner, the one giving the commission, Jesus, has been given 100% authority in 100% of the known cosmos, in heaven and upon earth. So in 100% of the places, he has all authority, 100% of the authority. Those who have been commissioned, the ones being sent out, are to make disciples. They're to begin discipling 100% of the nations, all people in all places. They are to disciple them by baptizing and by teaching to obey 100% of the things that Jesus has commanded. And Jesus said he's going to be with them 100% of the days until this age, the present age, reaches 100% of its purpose, until it culminates at its fulfillment of purpose. So is it a great commission? Obviously, it's a great commission. Why is it great? It's great because not only of the one who's giving it, but the scope of it, the vastness of it, and the telos of it, the purpose of it, the discipling of citizens of the kingdom to come. But when we break out these four alls, we had apasa, two pantas, and apasas. We had all authority, we had all the nations, we had all which he has commanded, and we have all the days. It seems to me like it's safe to look at this as a 100% commission. Thanks for being with me today, and as always, if this was good for you as it was for me, please like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And until we see one another again, Charis Kai Arene Humin, grace and peace to you.